Gastroenterology, Wikipedia audio. Gastroenterology is the branch of medicine focused on the digestive system and its disorders. Diseases affecting the gastrointestinal tract, which include the organs from mouth to anus, along the alimentary canal, are the focus of this specialty. Physicians practicing in this field are called gastroenterologists. They have usually completed about 8 years of pre-medical and medical education, a year-long internship, 3 years of an internal medicine residency, and 2 to 3 years in the gastroenterology fellowship. Gastroenterologists perform a number of diagnostic and therapeutic procedures including colonoscopy, endoscopy, endoscopic retrograde cholangioscopy, endoscopic ultrasound, and liver biopsy. Some gastroenterology trainees will complete a 4th year in transplant hepatology, advanced endoscopy, inflammatory bowel disease, motility, or other topics. Hepatology, or hepatobiliary medicine, encompasses the study of the liver, pancreas, and biliary tree, while proctology encompasses the fields of anus and rectum diseases. They are traditionally considered subspecialties of gastroenterology. History. Citing from Egyptian papyri, John F. Nunn identified significant knowledge of gastrointestinal diseases among practicing physicians during the periods of the pharaohs. Irinacti, of the 10th dynasty, c. 2125 BC, was a court physician specializing in gastroenterology, sleeping, and proctology. Among ancient Greeks, Hippocrates attributed digestion to concoction. Galen's concept of the stomach having 4 faculties was widely accepted up to modernity in the 17th century. Italian Lazzaro Spallanzani was among early physicians to disregard Galen's theories, and in 1780 he gave experimental proof on the action of gastric juice on foodstuffs. In 1767, German Johann von Zimmermann wrote an important work on dysentery. In 1777, Maximilian Stahl of Vienna described cancer of the gallbladder. 18th century, 19th century, 20th century, 21st century. 1. International Classification of Disease/WHO classification. In 1805, Philip Bazzini made the first attempt to observe inside the living human body using a tube he named Lichtleiter to examine the urinary tract, the rectum, and the pharynx. This is the earliest description of endoscopy. Charles-Émile Troisier described enlargement of lymph nodes in abdominal cancer. In 1823, William Prout discovered that stomach juices contain hydrochloric acid. In 1833, William Beaumont published experiments and observations on the gastric juice and the physiology of digestion following years of experimenting on test subject Alexis St. Martin. In 1868, Adolf Kussmaul, a well-known German physician, developed the gastroscope. He perfected the technique on a sword swallower. In 1871, at the Society of Physicians in Vienna, Karl Stoerk demonstrated an esophagoscope made of 2 telescopic metal tubes, initially devised by Waldenbach in 1870. In 1876, Carl Wilhelm von Kupfer described the properties of some liver cells now called Kupfer cell. In 1883, Hugo Kronecker and Samuel James Meltzer studied esophageal manometry in humans. 2. Mesh subject heading. 3. National Library of Medicine Catalog. In 1915, Jesse McClendon tested acidity of human stomach in situ. In 1921–22, Walter Alvarez did the first electrogastrography research. Rudolf Schindler described many important diseases involving the human digestive system during World War I in his illustrated textbook and is portrayed by some as the father of gastroscopy. He and George Wolfe developed a semi-flexible gastroscope in 1932. In 1932, Burrell Bernard Crohn described Crohn's disease. In 1957, Basil Hirschowitz introduced the first prototype of a fiber optic gastroscope. Disease classification. In the United States, gastroenterology is an internal medicine subspecialty certified by the American Board of Internal Medicine and the American Osteopathic Board of Internal Medicine. Gastroenterological societies. United States. In 2005, Barry Marshall and Robin Warren of Australia were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for their discovery of Helicobacter pylori and its role in peptic ulcer disease. James Leavitt assisted in their research, but the Nobel Prize is not awarded posthumously, so he was not included in the award. Research resources. Chapter 11. Diseases of the Digestive System. Gastroenterology, gastroenterological diseases. Digestive system. American College of Gastroenterology, American Gastroenterological Association, American Society for Gastrointestinal Endoscopy.